used against you in the courts of law and also outside this meeting. However, if you choose to mislead or to give false information, the reverse shall apply. With that said, I would like to ask you that we introduce ourselves in this room, starting with yourselves, and particularly yourself as Council Secretary.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. My name is Fred Munongo, Council Secretary, NAMWALA Town Council.
Fred?
Fred Munongo.
Oh, Fred.
With me is a team of management. I think I will allow them to introduce themselves one by one.
Good afternoon, Chair. Good afternoon, honorable members. My name is Amfrichte. I'm the Director Engineering Services, NAMWALA Town Council.
Good afternoon, Chair. My name is Barbara Chijuka, Acting Internal Auditor for NAMWALA Town Council. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chair. My name is Zulu M. Patricia, Senior Procurement Officer, NAMWALA Town Council.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chair. Good afternoon, members. I'm Chia Miowa, the former Director Planning, now Director Planning, Choma.
Good afternoon, Chair. Good afternoon, members. My name is Jongo Abishai Milao, Director Finance, NAMWALA Town Council. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chair. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is James Mazala, Chief Human Resources Management Officer, NAMWALA Town Council.
Good morning, Chair. Good afternoon, Chair. I'm Portia Naganda, Socio-Economic Planner, NAMWALA Town Council.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chair. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Elizabeth Kumwenda. I'm the Council Advocate.
Thank you. Permanent witnesses?
Thank you, Chair, and good afternoon to you, Chair. Good afternoon, the honorable members of this committee. Good afternoon, NAMWALA Town Council. My name is Sia Brenda Mdenda from Minister of Finance, Accountant General's Office. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chair. Good afternoon, honorable members. NAMWALA Town Council, good afternoon and you're welcome. My name is Mishek Shukwendo from Ministry of Finance and National Planning under the control of internal audit. Thank you.
Most grateful Chairperson and the honorable members of your committee. NAMWALA Town Council, you're welcome. I'm Kazinga Kennedy, permanent witness from the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development. I submit, Chair.
Thank you. AG's office.
Thank you, Chair. Good afternoon, Chair. Good afternoon, honorable members of Parliament. Good afternoon, NAMWALA Town Council. My name is Martin Nguni, Assistant Director, Southern Province, from Office of the Auditor General. Then my colleague will introduce himself.
Thank you, Chair. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Simon Munyama. I'm from the Planning and Research Department, Office of the Auditor General.
Thank you. Secretariat.
Much obliged, Chair, and thank you so much. NAMWALA Town Council, good afternoon and you're welcome. I am Chirimboy Elijah from the Office of the Clerk of National Assembly. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Member for Mangango.
Thank you very much, Chair. Good afternoon to you. Afternoon, NAMWALA Town Council. I'm Mwene Luhamba, Member of Parliament for Mangango. Thank you.
Thank you. Kaumbwe.
Thank you, Chair, and welcome, NAMWALA. I'm Honorable Dr. Aaron Mwanza, Member of Parliament for Kaumbwe constituency in Petauke District of the Eastern Province. Thank you.
Thank you. Mitete.
Chair, I'm your namesake, Mishek Mutelo, MP for Mitete, the very humble servant for NAMWALA local authority. You are welcome. I'm that humble servant of yours. Take it easy. You are not in court.
NAMWALA, my name is Mishek Mtetwa Nyambose, not the Mishek Mutelo. I'm the other Mishek Mtetwa Nyambose. I represent the wonderful people of Chasefu constituency in the eastern part of Zambia, and I'm privileged to chair your committee. With that said, CS, you can take us through the report. Before that, If you have any additional information by way of an addendum or anything that you think that you could not, at the time of presenting your report, you had left out, you are free to submit, to forward to us so that we can admit it as part of your report. Yes.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. Before I commence the submission, allow me to submit an addendum to the main report we submitted earlier.
Thank you.
Thank you. Other than that, Chair, allow me to go ahead with my presentation.
Please.
Thank you very much. I'll go straight into management response. On delayed completion of works, a cause for query, management acknowledges Auditor General's observation and wishes to state that the delay was attributed to process taken on recruitment of qualified plant operators. Action taken. Management wishes to report that works have now been executed as per status on the table below, where we are showing the actual work done. Refer to Appendix A for further details. Remedial measures, Chair. Management will ensure projects are implemented and completed within the financial year. I beg to make progress. We go to the second item, which is failure to reimburse borrowed funds. Cause of query. Management wishes to acknowledge auditor's findings on failure to reimburse the borrowed funds by members of the club. Action taken. Management wishes to submit that the follow-up was undertaken by the monitoring team and it was found that the clubs had procured the plant goods for the project. Refer to Appendix B. Remedial measures, Chair. Management will ensure that timely monitoring of the empowered grants is followed to enhance adherence to the guidelines. On wasteful expenditure paid for transferred pupils, Chair. Cause of query. Management wishes to acknowledge the observations raised by Auditor General on the management of secondary boarding and skills development. Action taken. Management has since reconciled and made follow-ups with the schools in question. Further, the secondary schools have confirmed that the pupils were truly theirs and were paid for in the year 2023. See Appendix C. Under remedial measures, Chair, management will continue to monitor and verify the learners under CDF sponsorship. Then on cross-cutting issues, Chair, and under Appendix 1, budget and funding, cause of query, management wishes to acknowledge the observations raised by auditors and would like to submit that the variance was attributed to non-disbursement of funds by the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development. Action taken. Management wishes to report that letters were written requesting for funding from the parent ministry. Further, the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development on circular number 101/22/157 issued on the 11th December 2025 guided that the funds will be released in the year 2026. See Appendix D. Remedial measures. Management will endeavor to engage the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development on timely release of funds. On Appendix 1.1 on retained funds, Chair, cause of query, management wishes to acknowledge the observations raised by auditors and would like to submit that retained funds were deducted at source for procurement of an ambulance and motorbikes. Action taken. Management wishes to report that the local authority has since received the ambulance and the motorbikes that were centrally procured. This is contained in Appendix E. Remedial measures, Chair. Management will endeavor to engage the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development on centrally procured items. On Appendix 2.1, total unspent funds under community projects, management response, cause of query. Management wishes to acknowledge the observations raised by auditors and would like to submit that the unspent funds were meant for the running projects. Action taken. Management wishes to report that the local authority has since spent the funds as budgeted. See Appendix F. Remedial measures, Chair. Management will endeavor to spend within the financial year. Appendix 2.2, total unspent funds, empowerment grants. Cause of query. Management wishes to acknowledge the observations raised by auditors on the unspent empowerment grants and would like to submit that the 4,154 kwacha was the balance unutilized as it was below the minimum grant. The CDFC would award to a club. Action taken. Management wish to report that the balance has since been allocated and paid against the 2025 empowerment grants as contained in Appendix G. Remedial measures, Chair. Management will ensure that all allocated funds are disbursed within the financial year. On secondary boarding and skills development on unspent funds, cause of query, Chair. Management wishes to acknowledge the observations raised by auditors and would like to submit that unspent funds were as a result of unutilized funds from secondary boarding and skills development component, as payments were based on the invoices received from schools. Action taken. Management wish to report that funds have since been utilized in the year 2025. See Appendix H. Remedial measures, Chair. Management will ensure that all allocated funds are disbursed within the financial year. On Appendix 2.4, on the loans, cause of query, Chair. Management wishes to acknowledge the observations raised by auditors and would like to submit that the unspent loan funds were accumulations from loan repayments and interest earned in the CDF revolving fund account. Action taken. Management wish to report that the Constituent Development Fund Committee reallocated the funds and have since been spent. See Appendix I. Remedial measures, Chair. Management will endeavor to spend the accrued interest and recoveries within the financial year. In Appendix 2.5, administrative costs. Cause of query. Management wishes to acknowledge the observations raised by auditors and would like to submit that the balance on the administrative component was as a result of running projects. Action taken. Management wish to report that the administrative component has since been utilized. See Appendix J. Remedial measures, Chair. Management will endeavor to spend the administrative component within the financial year. Appendix 3, community projects. Chair, actual cause of query, we had ambulance motorbikes 8.5 kilometer road rehabilitation, and cause of query tabulated as per project type being implemented. And the action taken, Chair, is also outlined. For instance, item number 1 under works in progress for 2024 is number 1 ambulance, cause of query. This is due to being centrally procured by Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development. Action taken. The ambulance has since been received and delivered to the intended user. On motorbikes, the cause of query is because it was being centrally procured by the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development. It has since been received and delivered to the intended user as action taken. On the 8.5 kilometer road rehabilitation, cause of query, 3.1 kilometer was done out of 8.5 planned township roads. Action taken, Chair. Works have since been completed. Shimkopola Health Post, the contractor had not completed the project as the cause of query. Action taken. The project is at 90% completion. Shilala 1/3 classroom block. Chair, cause of query, the contractor had not completed the project. Action taken. The project has been completed. On outstanding 2024 projects, number 1 is construction of Chief's Palace for Chief Nalubamba. Cause of query, Chair. The construction of the Chief's Palace had not commenced. Action taken. Waiting for ministerial guidance. See Appendix F. Remedial measure, Chair. Management will ensure to implement the approved projects within the financial year. On Appendix 3.1, analysis of performance of desks, Chair, cause of query. Management wishes to acknowledge the observations raised by auditors and would like to submit that the Constituent Development Fund Committee approved a total of 1 million kwacha for procurement of 625 desks. However, would like to submit that the 625 desks were procured at a total sum of 948,375 kwacha, leaving a balance of 51,625 as a saving. Action taken, Chair. Management wish to report that the savings have since been reported to Constituent Development Fund for reallocation. See Appendix K. Remedial measure. Management will ensure all the savings are utilized within the financial year. On Appendix 6, Youth and Women Empowerment Grant Performance Analysis, Chair. Because of query, management wishes to acknowledge the observations raised by auditors on the analysis of empowerment grants and would like to submit that the low approval rate was as a result of high number of applications and limited budget allocation. Action taken. Management wish to report that all the approved beneficiaries were paid. See Appendix G. Remedial measure. Management will ensure that all allocated funds are disbursed within the financial year. Appendix 6.1, unaccounted for empowerment grants, cause of query. Management wishes to acknowledge the observations raised by auditors and would like to submit that at the time of audit, the two clubs had not maintained the records of their expenditure. Action taken. Management wish to report that the clubs have since accounted for the entire grant allocation. See Appendix L. Remedial measure. Management will ensure that timely monitoring of the empowered grants is followed to enhance adherence to the guidelines. Appendix 6.3, failure to implement projects, grants. Cause of query, management wishes to acknowledge the observations raised by auditors and would like to submit that at the time of our field monitoring, the club members were not available and thus couldn't collect information. However, action taken, Chair, management wished to report that the follow-ups were done and the cited clubs implemented the projects as shown in the table below. Refer to Appendix B. Remedial measure, Chair. Management will ensure that timely monitoring of empowerment grants is followed to enhance adherence to guidelines. Appendix 6.4, unauthorized change of approved grant projects. Cause of query. Management wishes to acknowledge the observations on unauthorized change of approved grant projects. Action taken. Management has intensified sensitization to clubs on need to implement the approved projects. The clubs have since applied for change of projects. See Appendix N. Remedial measures, Chair. Management will ensure that timely monitoring and sensitization of the empowered grants is followed to enhance adherence to the guidelines. Appendix 7, misapplication of loan funds, Chair. Cause of query. Management wishes to acknowledge the observations raised by auditors and would like to submit that Shimwezi business changed the approved project from block making and bore drilling to that of supply of meal without authority. Action taken. Management wishes to submit that the matter was reported to CDFC for approval, which has since been granted by Provincial Local Government Office. Remedial measure, Chair. Management will ensure that timely monitoring and sensitization of the empowered grants is followed to enhance adherence to guidelines. Appendix 7.2, failure to recover loans. Cause of query. Management wishes to acknowledge the observations raised by auditors on failure to recover loans from beneficiaries. Action taken. Management wish to report that beneficiaries were engaged and have since written commitment letters on repayments. See Appendix P. Remedial measure. Management will continue sensitizing and monitoring the beneficiaries for compliance. Appendix 8, bursaries performance analysis. Cause of query. Management wishes to acknowledge the observations raised by auditors and would like to submit that unspent funds were as a result of unutilized funds from secondary boarding and skills development component, as payments were based on the invoices received from schools. Action taken. Management wish to report that funds have since been utilized in the year 2025. See Appendix G. Remedial measure, Chair. Management will ensure that all allocated funds are disbursed within the financial year. Chair, this is my humble submission to this honorable committee.
Thank you very much, CS, for that submission. Honorable members, I can see Honorable Member for Mitete, then Dr. Mwanza. Your microphone, CS, should be off. Thank you.
It's a quicker one. On page 7, the unspent funds.
Page 7?
Page 7.
Thank you.
The unspent funds on community projects. You've taken us to Appendix F, where you have shown all the unspent funds, where you have spent them on. But the Shpokola, Shimukopola house post, the one which is at 90%. Why? Where are you going to get the money to finish it? And just a minor one, where is the water bowser? You've shown us everything. You've left the water. You could capture everything. The water bowser, you failed. Chair, just to open.
Thank you,
the
CS.
Sorry. Thank you very much, Chair. On Shimukopola project, we encountered some technical challenges along the way, attributed to at large from the hierarchical
Shimukopola
processes.
is number what? 7. Okay. I've seen it.
Yes, Chair. We had encountered some technical challenges along the way as we were implementing, coupled with some challenges that were beyond our control. However, Chair, allow me to bring on board Director Engineering to quickly respond to that query. Thank you very much.
Yes, Director.
Thank you, Chair. Shmukopola, this is the health post, Chair, which we are constructing under CDF 2024. Chair, this is a project which is being executed by one of our new contractors doing the works for the first time. And the area in which where we are executing these works, it's in Plains. So we had challenges because the contract was signed in December. However, the monies for this project, they are there intact. We are not adding any additional funds.
A new contractor. These are 2024 projects. What do you mean is a new contractor?
Thank you, Chair. I mean, these contractors are executing such work.
So is that an excuse for failing to execute a project? Once you are given a project for the first time, is that an excuse for failing to do a good job?
No, Chair.
Why did you put that as a justification? Because from that point, already you are compromised. Even if you're going to monitor, even if there are issues there, you say, no, this is first one. So in other projects that you are doing, how do you know that these are first-time contractors or maybe these are seasoned contractors?
Thank you, Chair. These new contractors, in most cases, these are the ones we are supervising because we are more like capacity building them on site because we have to supervise them from the start up to the finish. So they have got challenges in terms of project management. Sometimes they may misuse the funds, so we keep on supervising.
So you come in to check the accounts that they're not misusing. So, see, this is unique, arising from your explanation. Now, allow Honorable Mte.
Thank you, Chair, and the engineer. I'm totally grateful. CS, so what should we say management wishes to report that the local authority has since spent the funds. Your engineer is saying, yeah, for Shimpokola, the money is reserved. How much, we don't know. So what do we do with that sentence? Thank you for the challenges. I equally live in plains, so I may understand.
But that is honorable member.
But okay, you see the chair, we have new contractors that have performed well. But the sentence here is saying the money has since been spent. But she Mukopola is at 90%. And you, sir, you've said the money is for the 10% is there. So what should we take? And how much is that?
Chair, when I look at the status report as submitted to this August House Chair, you'll find that we had a number of projects that we're implementing in 2024. And out of all the projects, all of them were completed. There were 16. Less Shimukopola, the only project that could not be completed in good time. Possibly that was our submission, indicating the number of projects that we had completed.
The question, sir, is you've written here that all the monies have since been spent. You have also told us, but Shimukopola is at 90%. And the monies for the 10% is there. So how much is that money? And what now do we do with this statement? We don't want us here to try to say, oh, the funds have been spent, but Shimukopola is at 90%, there's some money. Then there's ambiguity. I hear you, sir. And then don't forget, where is the water bowser?
Thank you very much, Chair. Maybe allow me to respond to the earlier question on the balances on Shimukopola project. The total contract sum was 1.3 million, Chair. Yes. Of the 1.3 million, Chair, amount paid to date is 789,000 kwacha, leaving a balance of 515,000.
Has the money been all spent?
Chair. No, Chair.
So what do you do with this sentence?
Speak through the chair, honorable member.
Through you, Chair.
Chair, allow me to bring on board Director of Finance just to elaborate on the same with regards to finances.
Just to help you, before you bring the Director of Finance, what the honorable member is indicating is the contradiction. It's not about the Director of Finance bringing the figures. Because what you read, according to the report, is that all the funds are spent. But in the Director of Engineering's submission, he said the monies are intact for this Shimukopola. So that is a contradiction. So honorable member is asking, on behalf of this committee, what do we take? Your submission or that of the Director Engineering?
Thank you very much, Chair. I unreservedly apologize for the mix-up.
Thank you. We make progress. Where is the water bowser?
The water bowser, Chair, is available.
Where is in NAMWALA?
Yes, please.
It was delivered?
It was delivered and it's in use.
Thank you very much. Remember, you have some information, intelligence information. Help your committee.
Appendix F has shown you've done a good job. But the water bowser, which is working in NAMWALA, the water bowser is not here. Have you seen it in this report? Yeah. So how do we believe it's there in NAMWALA and it's working? I've seen the water bowls are delivered. Where? I've seen the motorbikes. I've seen the 1x3 classroom blocks. But where? I've seen the ambulance. Where is the motorbike? I mean, the water bowser. Simple, Chair, simple.
CS, you got that one.
Very much, Chair. The water bowser was a spillover project from 2023, and it was adequately reported in the previous committee. However, Chair, we also apologize for not including it because in the report it has been captured. Thank you very much.
Okay, progress, Dr. Mwanza.
Page 2.
We go to page 2.
Yes. The roads, actually page 1. So the delayed completion of projects, rehabilitation of township roads. 8.5 kilometers is earmarked for rehabilitation. These are township roads. And the road segments are on page 2. Segment 1, end of Tarmac to Kalundu Bridge, 3 kilometers, and then Ngoma to Munyinda, 3 kilometers, Riverside Road, 3 kilometers, total 8.5 kilometers, and the roads were not complete. These roads, Chair, are executed by the council under a force account at a budgeted cost of 2 million kwacha, and by the time of audit, 500,000 was spent, leaving a balance of 902,000 kwacha. The cause of query is that management acknowledges observations and wishes to state that the delay was attributed to process taken on the recruitment of qualified plant operators. By the way, these roads have been completed, and we are referred to Appendix A. So when you go to Appendix A, the first picture is the road segment from Ngoma to Munyinda Road, 3 kilometers. Second one is 0.5 kilometers. So my question on this is what we see in the picture the finished road level?
CS?
The submission on page 2 is the status of the roads at the time of audit, and then what we have attached under Appendix A, we're highlighting the processes on the development of the same roads, on the whole process to scope. That is grading and spot graveling, mostly on all the roads adding up to 8.5 kilometers.
So the question is this final final quality of the road
No, Chair.
from those pictures?
No, Chair. Allow me to.
Okay, Director Engineering.
Thank you, Chair. This road, we were working on it was spot improvement, meaning we were grading and working in portions which were highly deteriorated. So this, the picture we are seeing here, it was the process actually. We were still working on the road. So we had just started compacting the same road.
Yeah, that's a very good response. Because if I just speak it from a layman's point, you have created a basin there. Was the type of grading, if this is the case, the water will collect along the road, and just one drop, the whole road will be finished. So, Dr. Mwanza, a quick one.
Well, on page 2, you indicated that out of 8.5 kilometers, you had done 3.1 kilometers. And the roads that were complete was, the road segments that were complete was segment number 1, which is, it was done no, the Maunga to Vambwe Road, grading and spot improvement, 1 kilometer was done. And the first road was 3 kilometers, but you did 1 kilometer. Where is the complete section of the road as highlighted on table 2?
Thank you very much, Chair. I think you can refer, Honorable Member, to page 3. That has the table showing the status of the project. The earlier table was showing the status of the project as at the time of audit.
Of audit, 1 kilometer passed. The table is on page 2. So the table is on page 2, which shows the status at the time of audit. 1 kilometer, the last road section, 1 kilometer was done. The scope of work is the same. 1 kilometer was done. Then end of tarmac to Kalundu Bridge, out of 3 kilometers, you did 1 kilometer. And you only showed us pictures of incomplete NAMWALA High School and incomplete Ngoma to Manyinda Road. Where is a complete section of for example, the Maunga Wambwe Road? And these pictures on on Appendix A, you are using council equipment, right? But what is the evidence? What evidence can we have to prove that this road in this picture was done by using our equipment? Is it not just a picture from any section of the country, anywhere else, and you just type this? Why did you hide the equipment?
Should have shown the grade for NAMWALA, the operators, and the director engineering inspecting.
And you're saying the delay in the completion of these roads was because you were recruiting
the
qualified plant operators. So when we go to Appendix A, we see NAMWALA Town Council requesting for authority to employ 3 officers in Division 3 on 6 months contract basis, writing to the Local Government Service Commission. You wrote a letter to seek for authority on 26th July. But before you received an approval, an answer from Local Service Commission, you advertised on 30th of May, 2024. What was the relevancy or the importance of seeking for authority when you already applied for when you already advertised for the job?
CS.
Thank you very much, Chair. The responsibility to employ Division 3 staff is a devolved function under local governance, as at the time of this report.
2024?
Yes, please.
You had already started the devolution?
That's correct, Chair.
Okay.
Then, according to the human resource procedures, we have to notify the Commission because the type of employment was contractual in nature. That's our going that route, Chair.
The local government is here. I hope you are telling us what is obtaining. Correct. Dr. Mwanza, as we wind up.
It's a devolved function. Now, you're just supposed to notify the local
authority,
authority.
Government Service Commission.
So if we go to the letter on Appendix A, is this letter showing that you are notifying? That you're notifying?
Yes.
On the letter dated 2nd September, 26 July.
You are requesting for authority. I've read it.
Yes, we were requesting for authority that time, Chair, but again, when you read through the letter, you see that actually it's a function that rests with the council, the local authority at the time.
Okay,
Just along
let's
the way.
make progress. Page 4. Let's make progress. Page 4. Page 4, wasteful expenditure paid for transfer pupils. It is on the secondary management of secondary boarding and skill development bursaries. Wasteful expenditure. When you look at that scenario there, a total of 3,330 was paid to Choma Secondary School for 2 pupils appearing on CDF-sponsored approved list, but were not at the school, were not on the school records. Consequently, the expenditure totaling 12,760 kwacha, which includes the 3,000 for pupils on transfer, not as wasteful expenditure. The question is, you have referred us to Appendix C, and I want us to go to Appendix C. Before we go to Appendix C, as we go to Appendix C, I want to ask a question, CS and your team. When were you audited? For the 2024.
For 2024,
This
Chair,
report, yeah.
we're audited in September 2025.
September 2025. Take
That's-
note of
that's
that
correct.
date. Let's go to Appendix C. Appendix C, a letter dated uh, 6th February 2026 from Choma Secondary School. Response to a claim for refund. Monga Mazanda Kelly and Musaka Obet. I acknowledge writing to the council, meaning the council claimed, I wish to acknowledge receipt of the letter dated 8th May 2024. I write to inform you that I acknowledge Monga Mazanda Kelly and Musaka Obet as having been our lenders at the time of verification. Therefore, the funds for Monga Mazanda and Obet will not be facilitated as per your request. We were asking for a claim. When the auditors came to audit Choma, why didn't you show this evidence that you have given today to them?
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Chair. With permission, allow me to bring on board Director Planning just to elaborate.
DP.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, at the time of audit, this issue was still active because it was picked from us when we went to do a verification. So these are learners who were in 2023, sponsored under NAMWALA. But in the report which we generated, because we were doing verification, physical verification, so there was an indication at the time of physical verification, these were indicated to have been transferred from that school. So when the auditors were picking up this, we intimated about the issue of the letter which we wrote to Choma Secondary in regards to what we had found on the ground physically. So this letter which was sent by Choma Secondary is now in reference to the write-up of what the auditors requested, so that this is wasteful expenditure. So we indicated so that these were learners in 2023, unlike 2024. But since our audit our physical verification as the NAMWALA Town Council, we're looking at all the learners who are sponsored under NAMWALA. So unfortunately, they fell on that list for 2024 in terms of people not reported for school. However, after the physical verification and everything, it was discovered and it was noted that these were sponsored under 2023. At the time of audit 2024, they had left Choma Secondary. Chair, I submit.
Honorable Member for Mitete.
He has just mentioned to say, unfortunately. You heard that. So how do we handle that, unfortunately? Because we need to have the facts. You go on the ground, the records do not show. Then a letter is just generated to say, no, of course, those were there. But in 2024, you are saying they were captured, unfortunately. That is the unfortunate we are following, so that it does not become unfortunate. Why? We don't want to start CS cooking to say you sat down to say, can't we do this? Generate a letter on 6th February 2026. Unfortunately.
Yes, what we know is that when auditors come to your place, they don't come for a day. There's a period. And when these matters, during your analysis of the DAP, you saw this. At that time, you couldn't rest it. You waited to come and appear. This letter from Choma could have been generated that time. And as Honorable Member for Mitete has indicated, you should have gone there. Say, please, can we have this so that this matter is rested? What we don't want is these unnecessary queries. These can be avoided. And it's you, officers, who are supposed to deal with them. Once you do a physical verification, you find that these pupils are not there, you check where they've been transferred, you go to where they've been transferred, verify if they are really there, then you move the monies to, but you paid Choma, even when pupils, at that time, they were still at Choma. But what you should have done is that during the time, the audit process, you should have provided this information. But when you are coming for this session, you went to Choma and you persuaded them to write a letter dated 6th February 2026 because you were appearing. So you have no kind or respect to the auditors. If you had the respect for the auditors, you should have done that letter before they exit. Sir, can you drop this matter? We have the letter from Choma. Because the DPO or the DP could have traveled to Choma to get that letter, wait for the headmaster to write. Because indeed, those children were there at that time. So there was no need for the claim. So let us be doing the correct things ourselves as officers. When we are doing the correct things, there will be no issues. There will be prudence in the utilization of resources. Last one, Doc, last of the last.
Okay, just a simple one. I'm interested on these roads, township roads. What is the current status of the road condition? The road condition, how the township roads in NAMWALA that the council did, the 8.5 kilometers, how is the performance? Do you need some
Thank you very much, Doc. Tomorrow I'll separate the two of you. You speak very low. The radio or our broadcasting is complaining, the two of you. So when I separate you, I think the volume will be amplified. So the humble servant is also very low. So the question was, what is the status of these 8.5 roads in NAMWALA now that were done that time?
Thank you very much, Chair. To date, these roads are very motorable. The quality is still intact. Even when you were to go today to NAMWALA, you still find them.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for that. For your appearance as NAMWALA Town Council, I can only urge you to do better in the areas of implementation of community projects. That project at 90%, that is an area of interest. Can you quickly make sure that that project is handed over? Please, go and work on that one. Then the other area, the monitoring of empowerment grants should be improved. These grants, the essence of the grants, or the objective of the president, or the vision, is that people are empowered so that they can sustain their lives, improve their livelihood by having that grant to ensure that they can do projects that you are able to monitor as a council. It's their money, but you're able to monitor. They are now empowered. They had nothing. So let us not disturb the vision by implying that we are giving them, they share under a tree, then they disappear. That is the end. They say, oh, this government is not helping us. When you look at the lists, one day I'll ask the government to produce a list of all the beneficiaries of grants in this country, council by council. You see how many cooperatives groups have benefited. Then the demand for empowerment will lessen, because some of, I don't mean that everyone, but some of the people who might be asking for these, they already have been empowered through cooperatives. So that the people of Zambia should see that their government has really tried to empower them. So we can bring that sense of responsibility if we are monitoring as officers. We would like to see your chicken run, how the first batch of chickens you sold, are you buying? You encourage them. You see that there will be an improvement. You know, these people are not difficult. They monitor. If they see that you are monitoring, they will continue doing better. But if you abandon them, that, oh, we are officers, Imwama grants you is fine. Meaning that those of you who got grants is fine. You only follow those with loans. And even loans, you don't do much. Then we are not helping. Let us encourage them, not harassing them, but encouraging them by way of monitoring and checking on them. So the area of monitoring of grants is an issue. Verification of bursaries leading to cases of wasteful expenditure, that should be improved. The weak monitoring and control of grants, I've already mentioned. Oversight on procurement and delivery of desks. The issue of desks, please take interest. When we say by such a deadline, all our children should be sitting on a desk, council should procure, monies have been provided, we have procured. Let us procure the quality desks. Before handing over these desks, some of them are already warping. We have the technical personnel from Ministry of Education and yourselves, Director Engineering. You have the know-how. You understand this wood. You tell the contractors, take back, bring the proper type of desks, so that we have better desks. It's not good to have desks delivered after one term. Even before a year, the desks are broken because of the poor quality. So it's you officers to help your own government and the council. So generally for NAMWALA, this is a fair report. Improve on one, the roads. That's why they were picked. Other than that, you have cross-cutting issues. Improve on those areas where I've made observations. In terms of bursaries, monitoring, go and check physically, regularly, so that you know that by this time, certain number of children have been transferred to another council, to another school. You're able to amend your records, and you don't pay the same council as if those pupils were still there. So generally, it's a fair report, but go and clean it up. Next time, we don't want to see any query. Otherwise, we want to thank you. You are doing better, but you can do better. With that said, I would like to withdraw the immunity that was earlier conferred on you. Please We thank you for your appearance and traveling message.
Thank you very much, Chair.
Good afternoon. Thank you for still being with us here on Parliament Television. That was NAMWALA Town Council being led by Mr. Fred Muhango. That's the Council Secretary for NAMWALA Town Council. And a number of issues that were raised, as usual, by the committee. Among them, that the council should do better in the implementation of, some community projects, and that they should also improve in the, monitoring of drugs, among many other issues that the NAMWALA Town Council needs to improve on. And so this happens to be our last witness for today. The local government accounts this afternoon did interact with Itezi Town Council. And on the other side, we did bring to you the Committee on Local Governance, Housing and Chiefs Affairs, and they did interact with Pemba Town Council and Kalomo Town Council. Remember, we're back tomorrow after 9:30 for more live committee sittings. And so from me, Claudette Sindaza Jonga, our two sign language interpreters, that's Jason, Amanda, and Chola Kauma, not forgetting the entire studio and production crew. Join us tomorrow. From now, it's bye-bye, and take care.
Here is an announcement. The National Assembly of Zambia wishes to inform all the candidates who attended interviews for various positions conducted between 13th November and 26th December 2020.